my channel, welcome. I'm Mad Tzen and I'm a digital illustrator. I create Procreate tutorials for beginners. For today's Procreate tutorial, I'm going to show you how to draw a pearl in Procreate. First, we need to set up a color palette for our pearl. I've created this color palette for you guys so that you can place it into Procreate to follow along with the tutorial. When you create this color palette in Procreate, please make sure that you place the colors in the exact same position as I've done here to make it easier for you to follow along with my Procreate tutorial. If you're not sure how to create a Procreate palette, you can check out one of my tutorials, which I will leave a link up above, to show you how to create a color palette. Feel free to grab your iPad so that you can paint with me. You can also pause at any point in the video in case you need more time. So now let's get started with the tutorial. The first thing we need to do is go up to the brush library and go to the airbrushing category and choose the soft airbrush. Let's increase the brush size and opacity. Then click on color palettes and choose the top left cream color here. We're going to start off by drawing a circle. Then I'm going to use a finger to help create a perfect circle. Drag and drop the same color into the circle, then paint over the edge to make it a solid shape. Now we'll go to layers and add a new layer. Then go to color palettes and choose this gray color here. We'll start by drawing an arc on top of the pearl. Then we'll paint on a bottom line slightly curved. Make sure your shape is closed before we fill it in with the same color. Go back to layers, add a new layer, click on the blank space, which will bring up a menu, and choose clipping mask. Then we'll go to color palettes and choose this darker color here. We're going to draw another arc shape, but smaller than the first one, and we're going to fill it in with the same color. Go back to layers, click on the base layer that we started with, go back to color palettes, and choose this color here. We're going to place a thin outline just on the edge of our gray arc. Let's also put a little bit around the corners. Go back to layers, add a new layer, click on the blank space, then click on clipping mask. Go to color palettes, then choose the color on the bottom left. We're going to slightly increase the brush size and decrease the opacity. And now we're going to put some highlights on the bottom of the pearl. Then we'll go to layers and click on the top layer, then add a new layer. This time we're going to be drawing an upside down arc shape near the top of the pearl. Then we go back to layers, add a new layer, go back to color palettes and choose the color on the bottom right. And we're going to use this color to paint on the gray space above. This will blend in nicely with the white arc just underneath. Then we'll go to color palettes and choose white, then back to layers and add a new layer. Make sure your brush size is on max. And we're going to go back to the top of the pearl and put in that white highlight. We're blending in all the brighter colors at the top. Then slightly decrease your brush size so we can put in a tiny bit of highlight on the left. Go to layers and click on the base layer, add a new layer, go back to color palettes, and click on this brown here. Increase your brush size, and now we're going to add some shading at the bottom. Go back to layers and click on the top layer. Then go to color palettes and choose white again. We really want to make the highlights stand out, so I'm just going to add a bit more white above the pearl. Go back to layers and choose the third layer from the top. Go to color palettes and choose the bottom left color again. Just like the highlights above, we're going to add more highlights at the bottom. Go to layers again and click on the base layer. Go back to color palettes and choose the color on the top right. Decrease your brush size, and we're just going to add a little bit more shading on the edge of the gray part. Go to layers and choose the fourth layer from the top. Then go to color palettes and choose this color here again. Increase your brush size, and we're going to make the inner part of the pearl a little bit more darker. Go to layers and click on the fifth layer from the top. Go back to color palettes and choose this second color here. And we're just adding a bit more gray to balance the colors with the darker color in the middle of the pearl. Then we'll go back to layers and click on the base layer again. Add a new layer. Then go back to color palettes and choose this color here. And we're going to slightly decrease the opacity and the brush size. And now we're going to paint on a thin outline on the outer part of the pearl. And now you know how to draw a pearl in Procreate. Thanks for watching, guys. Please support this channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to Mad Tzen. If you have any questions, comments, or problems with Procreate, please leave comments down below because I want to be supportive and help you guys get better at using Procreate and also get better at your artwork. You can also check out my other Procreate tutorials, which I will leave links up above and also in the description below. I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next Procreate tutorial.